Alright, what's up, y'all? I'm back with another video. And the main topic of this video is going to be about the Gullah Geechee culture. Now, before I get into that, I want to let y'all know that I wanted this video to serve as an intro to what I'll be talking about in my future videos. Now, in my future videos, I'm going to be discussing how the African American culture originates here in America. It's actually an indigenous American culture. We're going to be talking about the many tribes we had here in America. I'm going to be talking about confederations, empires, civilizations, all that good stuff. I'm going to be talking about the Aztecs, the Incas, and I'm going to be talking about the West Indies, all right? And how all that connects to us here in North America, all right? So be on the lookout for those videos. Now, to get back to the main topic of this video, the Geechee culture. Now, the main consensus is that the Geechee culture originates with African slaves being brought from Africa, and somehow they were able to develop this culture from the many different groups that were brought over as slaves. And that's what the general consensus is, which is wrong. All right, which is wrong. And Ultramelanite, he made a very good, informative video, breaking it down and telling it how it is. And he's gonna give it to y'all raw. He lets you know where it really originates from. And I'm about to show y'all a clip from one of his recent videos that he produced. So make sure to check out his channel as well. Check out his videos, subscribe, do what you want. But, this stuff is important. So, yeah, stay tuned.
My culture right here in Charleston, South Carolina is called the Geechee Gullah culture. Now, I know a lot of us Geechees were taught as children that we are the descendants of African slaves and that a remnant of that culture survives today, and that's where the Geechee Gullah culture originates. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's a lie, so let's deal with a fact. I'll prove to you that the Geechee Gullah culture is indigenous American in nature, all right? So let's start with the facts first. As y'all know, I like to deal with grammar. So let's deal with the grammar behind the word Geechee Gullah, all right? Geechee Gullah originates on the southeastern coast and is a compound word. The first term Geechee applies to a group of people that were living on the Old Geechee River in Georgia. As a result of the Yamasee War in 1715, the Geechees were pushed to the coast of Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. All right, so get that. The first word is based off an indigenous American group. Is there anybody that can dispute that? I think not. All right, let's move forward to the second word, which is Gullah. Gullah represents a tribe that lived in the South Carolina coastline during the arrival of the European Latin in the 1500s. So here we go again. The second word of this compound word is used to identify a group of indigenous people that were living in South Carolina during the time of the European arrival. All right, so both of these words, Geechee and Gullah, both originate or were used to identify groups of people that were in the Americas during the time of the European. All right, the culture of the Old Geechee and the Gullah combined to create the Geechee Gullah culture, which composes of many different ethnic groups who were opposed to assimilation. Get that. The Geechee Gullah culture composes of many different ethnic groups who were opposed to assimilation. All right, I think it would be safe to say that racially, these people were black. Regardless of what people tell you, let's do the math for yourself. All right, let's start with ethnicity and race. The Old Geechee River is in the southeastern United States. Today, the Geechees are all black. True or false? I live in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm a Geechee Gullah myself, and I've never seen an Asian or a non-black Geechee. All right. So if we were named by a local river and we today are all black, I think it would be safe to say that the people on the river at that time that created this culture were all black. 1 plus 1 got to equal 2. It's not like these people were Mongol and later turned black. That would be retarded to say, all right? Although I know it could happen. I don't want to hear all of the crazy comments about that, all right? So the original race at the time of the European arrival was black. Is there anybody that can dispute that? All right, dig it. Next, let's go to Gullah food. I'll start with grits, which is a staple of Southern cooking and also South Carolina state food. Grits is labeled as a Native American food, but have you ever seen an Asian Mongol Native American eating shrimp and grits? Shrimp and grits is one of the Gullah's native or unique dishes. All right? When I was young, non-blacks did not eat this food at all. Shrimp and grits, fish and grits, that's something that's definitely unique to black people here. All right? So how is it that soul food that blacks eat to this day is attributed to be coming from the Mongol or Asian Native Americans? All right, I grew up on foods like fish and grits and shrimp and grits, and I'll tell you what, milling grits was an art form that would have had to be learned because Africa did not have corn. I understand that all places have a form of porridge. I understand that the Africans ate a form of porridge, but their porridge was not corn based because they didn't have corn. All right, we know that soul food is attributed to black people to this day. The Asian people don't eat neck bones and lima beans, and I know a lot of you people watching this right now may have never eaten these foods. That's all cool. Come to Charleston and we'll give you all a taste of a real good food experience. All right. There are many other foods that are unique to Charleston in the southeastern United States. Foods that do not originate in Africa where corn doesn't grow. Most Mongol or Asian Native Americans eat a Euro-American diet, utilizing corn in many ways, but not unique as the Gullah culture. All right. Now, this historian says, and I quote, that soul food is actually Native American food. The art of smoking meats, boiling soups, eating things like sweet potato pie. Come on, man. How much of y'all know Asian Native American that makes sweet potato pie? Or using smoked neck bones and things of the sort. That's a thing that's unique to us here. Don't give that to anybody else. All right. You know, I got black people telling me that this food culture originates in Africa, and I got white people saying that this food culture originates with the Native Americans. All right, I here to say that both of y'all wrong. The food culture originates with the indigenous black America, and it remains with us to this day. All right, come on, man. Simple. 1 plus 1 gotta equal 2. Is there anyone who can dispute that? All right. For all of the Asian Native Americans, the ones with the Siberian genome, for all of y'all, do y'all eat soul food? When we speak of soul food, I know y'all say that disgusts y'all. That's some low class citizen food, right? But yet this historian says it originates with y'all, you dig? And for all of you so-called African wannabes, y'all say that this culture originated in Africa, huh? Show me somebody in Africa who's got corn and making grits out of that bad boy, you know, eating shrimp and grits, you dig? All right, come on, both of y'all wrong. Yeah, you know, you can't steal our heritage right here. All right, lastly, real quick, let's talk the Gullah language. And while we at it, we're going to identify another nation of indigenous people called the Seminole. All right, let's talk the dialect. The dialect is considered English Creole, and our branch is considered a Bahamian dialect, even though the dialect originated on the mainland and spread to the islands as documented by these people. And here's a document showing and proving this. I can't say for sure how true this is, but here's document proving this. Evidence also exists in the fact that white people on the island speak Creole, proving that they were infused in the indigenous culture, you know. Why would the European nobility speak a much slave language? You understand me? All right. Gullah language itself, or the Gullah dialect itself, is considered Afro-Seminole. Am I right? The Gullah language is considered Afro-Seminole. So, with that being said, these people who identify in our culture automatically identify our culture as being part with one of these indigenous culture. But somehow some of you people don't, you know. The Seminole was a racially black Southeastern Indigenous confederation and obviously became a meaningful part of the Gullah culture and the Creole island culture. The reason why the Seminole was so important in the Geechee and the island culture is because they were strong enough to house the indigenous black refugees. So this is a factual brief history, on the Seminole. All right, and here we go with the terminology. All right. The Seminole was so instrumental in our Afro-Seminole culture that we're going to move right into the fake Native Americans so I can piss off some more people by speaking the truth. The Seminole is a nation, not an ethnic group, not a racial group. Racially, they were black people as represented by the Gullah people and culture. The people didn't call themselves Seminoles. It was a name given to them by the Spanish. The word Seminole itself has the grammar behind the word Seminole. It means runaway or refugee. All right, it is the same as the word maroon, which were the runaways on the islands in the southeastern United States. The exact same word, two different languages. You understand me? Now, why would anyone call themselves a runaway? Runaway from what? Runaway from who? And runaway when? Once again, I'll tell you. The defeat and defection of indigenous clans after the Yamasee War caused the tribes who didn't assimilate to become refugees or runaway. You dig? It's that simple. The clans who did not wish to assimilate ended up becoming refugees or runaways. All right. The runaway tribes consolidated again in Florida because Florida was still Spanish owned at this time. So the British couldn't just come down there and rally these people together. By the mid-1700s, the Seminole was a people consolidated of many tribes and gained strength. And since they were called the Cimarron, the wild runaway, that term kind of stuck with them as the newly formed tribe, and they were ready for war. Also by the mid-1700s, the Spanish surrendered Florida to the English, forcing the Seminoles back into war, where they reportedly freed several hundred prisoners of war. All right, this persisted until the 1830s, the Indian Removal Act, which pushed all Native Americans west of the Mississippi. That's how you get black people west of the Mississippi, because of the Indian Removal Act. How else did you get that far west? Simple, common sense. All right. The Seminole was one of the groups that did not comply, leaving several communities of indigenous black Americans in the southeast. The Seminoles fought wars, ultimately losing to the colonists and their Native American help, such as the Cherokee. All right. Now for a synopsis. All right. No matter what y'all think, being a race does not constitute your nationality. Being black does not constitute you being African. That's why I started this grammar lesson off explaining the difference between nationality, race, and ethnicity. I never said I had a problem with any Africans. Racially, we are the same. Phenotypically, we are very similar. I explained that in the very first video. But obviously, if you're still asking that question, you don't have a high enough IQ to understand what I'm saying. All right, so you need to go back to school. All right. Point 2. My family has been in this area from at least the late 1700s to the early 1800s, as I can prove, existing as a remnant of one of the tribes of the Yamasee War, known as the Etowah. You dig? My family survived here for at least the past couple hundred years as the Etowah ethnic group. Racially, we were identified as black people, colored people, and Negro, so on and so forth. All right. Point 3. The Geechee Gullah culture originated in the southeastern United States, with the main bloodlines being people related to the Geechee, the Seminole, and the Yamasee tribes, these other ethnic groups that formed into one confederation. Racially, these people were black. Go find anybody from any one of these tribes, and if they were documented on the census, they were documented as being black. If they were not documented as being black or colored, then they were not of those Indian or indigenous nations. All right. Our culture is considered by most historians to be Afro-Seminole. There's not much African elements to my culture. All right. And if there is, how about you prove it to me? All right. Anyone that's saying my people are from Africa needs to show and prove with facts, all right? Not just some old BS rhetoric, not just coming on here and say, oh, this guy's crazy, all right? Prove it with facts. I can always admit when I'm wrong, but the fact of the matter is I'm presenting facts to you guys. All my research prove what I say to be true and prove what you say to be fruitless. All right. Everything attributed to my culture can be found to originate here. Do a fact check. You understand me?